I thank the Speaker for the time. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to recognize and support the efforts underway throughout my wonderful state of Florida to honor the courage, the achievement, and the legacy of Cuban-Americans in the United States. The following cities, in addition to the Florida House of Representatives, have passed resolutions in support of designating a day to recognize the many valuable contributions of Cuban-Americans to the United States. Hialeah Gardens, Hialeah, Doral, Florida City, West Miami, Miami Beach, the City of Miami, Pembroke Pines, Homestead, and Key West. Cuban Americans have had a profound and lasting influence on the history, values, and culture of the United States since the arrival of the earliest Cuban settlers more than 400 years ago in St. Augustine, Florida. According to the 2007 Census survey, 251,000 Cuban-American-owned businesses generated $51 billion to our economy. Several local South Florida municipalities have recognized the important contributions that the Cuban-American community has made to the economic and cultural development of our great nation. Cuban-Americans have become dedicated public servants, having held posts at the highest levels of government. Cubans settling in the United States look at this nation, our wonderful United States of America, with gratitude, and many have risked life and limb to defend this bastion of freedom and democracy. Countless Cuban Americans have served bravely in all branches of the United States Armed Forces and have fought honorably in many wars. One such hero is Armando Alejandre, who voluntarily enlisted in the United States Marine Corps and served 2 tours of duty in Vietnam. Armando was also a volunteer for the Brothers to the Rescue, a pro-democracy organization whose mission is to promote and support the efforts of the people of Cuba to free themselves from the Cuban dictatorship through the use of active nonviolence. While he and his fellow Brothers to the Rescue volunteers were carrying out such a humanitarian mission, on February 24, 1996, the Cuban regime ordered Cuban military jets to shoot down their unarmed civilian aircrafts. The shoot-down resulted in the unjust killings of Carlos Costa, Armando Alejandre, Mario de la Peña, and Pablo Morales. Last month, I wrote a letter to Secretary Clinton and Attorney General Holder asking the administration to take immediate action to indict Fidel and Raul Castro for their role in this horrible shoot-down. The United States must make it clear that we will not stand for the Cuban tyranny's manipulation and unapologetic crimes against the American people, nor for its abuses against its own people of Cuba. No matter how the regime and its enablers try to spin it, the Cuban tyranny remains as oppressive and uncompromising as ever. Its methodical release and exile of political prisoners is nothing but an attempt to curry favor with those with whom the regime seeks business. And this weekend's conviction and sentencing of U.S. citizen Alan Gross to 15 years in prison is a clear reminder of this. This deplorable act is another illustration of the regime's willingness to use human beings as political pawns to advance its destructive agenda. The United States and all responsible nations must demand the immediate release of Alan Gross and all prisoners who remain wrongfully imprisoned in Castro's gulags. I am proud to say that despite the challenges and the passing years, Cuban Americans remain undeterred in our fight for freedom, justice, and democracy. Mr. Speaker, I join in the support of these resolutions and again urge that a date be set to honor the courage, the achievements, and the legacy of Cuban Americans in the glorious United States. Thank you very much for the time, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back.
The chair recognizes